Boom, record. Boom, boom, boom. What up? What up? All right, cool. So this is Forex League Live. So obviously this is a live trading session. We'll go over all the pairs that we're looking at for today. Let me get some video on here. We'll go over all the pairs that we're looking at for today, any potential trades that we're looking for. And we're going to start off, we're going to hop into our fundamental analysis. And we're just going to read through some analysis that was posted yesterday just to start off. So we had some CAD fundamental. So the Canadian dollar is moving in a range-bound motion, just like the rest of the commodity-linked currencies, just because of the unsure situation around the coronavirus. OPEC signaled production cut, which could help the Canadian dollar. At that point, we expect the Canadian dollar to strengthen at least against the safe haven currencies, because as we know, the Canadian dollar is definitely exposed to the oil prices because this is their main export, and this brings most of the money into the Canadian economy. However, there is always the other side of the situation where the price of oil will remain the same and the risk of coronavirus will rise. In the case, the price of Canadian dollar will fall further. So again, these fundamental analysis are just expanded analysis on the reports that are coming out for every week. You know, I know a lot of people will go on and they'll look at much like these, all those red folders, either on FX Book or wherever. And then we just deliver some expanded analysis on that for you guys, especially during this time. You know, it's important to be doing that.
And it gives you an idea of what you should be, focusing on as well in the market. So, maybe, if news is super volatile one day, you'll, be made aware of it here, and you'll either know not to trade it or to look out for certain things, or you'll know, the sentiment more so than, not being exposed to the fundamentals. So, that this is good to have. Definitely a good tool. So you want me to start off? I'll do DXY. I want to cover that.
You can start off. Hold on. Just try not to mute yourself, because then you can't unmute yourself.
All right. All right.
Let's see. So yeah, let's have Nick hop on. He's gonna share and we'll get started.
All right. So I want to cover DXY. You guys can see this, right?
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right, so DXY actually made a quick reversal from a minor support level. You can see this blue level in here. This is minor support, right? As you can see, and we actually thought it was going to keep dropping, at least to this monthly zone. But then we did see a quick reversal from this level, and then huge bullish volume came back into the market. So US dollar is now bullish on this 4-hour time frame, right? And it's looking like it has the momentum to continue higher. There's definitely a good amount of volume. I see it coming back at least to like the 105 area, top of this trend line, potentially even higher towards, this key resistance level around 101. But, right now it's definitely bullish. It's got that momentum. And we actually saw that throughout all USD pairs. So let's go ahead with this in mind, right? We see that this is clearly, pushing up. It has, it's halfway through this range, and it could continue higher. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and move on to AUD USD. Right, see, this is that push. USD pushed up, AUD USD pushed down, right? See that? I was pushing down. So there is a potential short here if we see the right confirmations, because this is a 78.6 level. This is primarily bearish in higher time frames. So a nice retracement, and then either 1 hour, 30-minute confirmations, like bearish engulfings, evening star, a lot of exhaustion in this area, and we get that confirmed lower high. You could then short to the next major support levels, being the 61.8 area, then back into this range, potentially lower towards the 38.2, and so on. You can just keep managing the trade if this is a continuation from a higher time frame. So we'll see on this one. I mean, this is looking pretty good so far. Again, I really think it's going to either pull back and give us some setups, or the momentum's just going to push it back into this lower range, in which case we'll be looking for, break and retests and so on. So this is looking pretty good so far. Just the 4-hour was bullish, right? Everything else is primarily bearish. So this is looking really good. It turned around this weekly area, around the 78.6. There's good confluence there. So we should see potential setup play out in the next few candles here. So say 12 hours or more even. So we'll see. That's AUD USD. Let's keep going on to AJ. So this is actually at a pretty crucial area too. We did see last week that it broke out of this resistance area, right? Definitely went bullish on this 4-hour time frame. However, the overall time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, are very bearish, right? So it did break out, right? We have this 4-hour bullish trend. Higher time frames are very bearish. These key levels is what we got to watch out for, like this weekly here. Right now, we're pretty good. It looks like this 4-hour trend is going to continue bullish. So we could look for strong setups from the current level where it's testing support right now. You get a nice bullish engulfing through the MAs. Maybe some, bullish variations, 3 engulfings in a row or something like that, or just 3 large bullish candles in a row. Look for those kind of setups coming off this level. Then you want to enter on that conviction candle that's going to, show that this is a good trade idea, and you'll have a lot of confidence in it. So it's about 230 pips to the weekly resistance area. So there's definitely a trade here. I mean, AJ moves a lot, so we're going to be watching this one. Just look for those setups at this current area. If it does break back into this range, looking for a break and retest, right? We're always looking for confirmations. We're just following price action.
Oh yeah.
So that's AJ too. This one's looking pretty good. I like trading AJ. Definitely a good pair. All right, now on to EU. So this pair, it looked like it was breaking to the upside. It did. It got above this key resistance area. It had good conviction, but then it turned out to be a little bit of a fake out, right? Kind of just price action just died off. Bears took over again. You saw the US dollar pushed up, so naturally, this pair would, drop in comparison to that. So we did see this little wedge pattern forming. Price action fell out, right? Potential way that we could enter is if we did see a retest of this broken, structure level, minor structure. If we did, see a confirmation there, you could target lower for about 100 pips or so, potentially even lower towards this monthly. If this does turn out to be a good momentum trade, we continue to see the US dollar push up. It's very likely that we'll see this momentum push to the downside here on EU. So let's just, for the sake of it, mark what this would look like. Right, something like this. And then we're going to target down towards the monthly here. So roughly something like that. 200, risk 100 to get 200. At least 2-0 risk reward. So it could be something like this. Good potential trade setup. Right, that's definitely possible. Very bearish on all significant time frames: monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour. Very, very bearish. So we'll be watching this one as well. Again, we could see this play out in the next few hours. But we'll be watching. Again, we'll always be posting in the Discord premium analysis. Anything that we're seeing, we make you guys aware. So these are labeled green. I have these labeled green because these are the 3 that I think are the closest to making a potential trade, closest to execution. But I'll quickly go over, EJ. EJ is looking very bearish. There was a potential entry on a pullback here. You can see this transition to the downside. It broke support, retested. And then there were some, bearish variations in here. You could have shorted EJ. A little uncertain though. There's a lot of large amount of volume, just indecision. Bullish after bearish candle repeatedly. But definitely looking more bearish than anything else for EJ. If any of you guys are trading that. Let's see NCAD, and I'll cover gold. So NCAD actually, it actually fell out of this like flag pattern. So I actually was bullish on this, at least on this 4-hour time frame, and then it went bearish. I'll show you.
Wow.
Yeah, so it kind of flopped. It looked like it was going long. I was looking to play up to this key resistance area, which is also the negative 27 fib. I thought it had good momentum, right? There was a little pennant in here, continued higher, and it looked like it was forming a nice, retracement to 38.2, in which case I entered on, and then, this just kind of fell out. But sometimes it goes that way. A little bit of consolidation, no conviction, and then the pattern failed. It came back down to test this weekly area once again. It looks like it's pushing through to 61.8 right now, and it's probably going to test the 78.6 at the very least. And then we'll just reanalyze once we get into this area around the 78.6 to 88.6. Will this be a higher low, right? Will it try and make a transition to the downside based on a higher time frame sentiment? Let's see. Right, it could. It needs to break this zone here. This weekly, it needs to get below this weekly and pretty much out of this red zone for us to then consider, shorting down to a more significant support level like this monthly. But for now, it's kind of choppy on this higher time frame. But yeah, so I mean, it happens, guys. We got bid on this one. That's NCAD. And let's just take a look at gold real quick, which is still pretty bullish. Yeah, this is consolidating right now. Very, very bullish, guys, on gold, as we have been. I mean, we got a good trade on this last week. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to go to the 1800 area. So it pretty much did exactly what we thought it would for this bullish idea, right? It broke resistance, just as we said, tested a support. MA's kind of carried it as, an extra layer of indication. And then we could just see sheer volume pushing gold higher, right? So again, this is for a lot of reasons. Fundamentally, it's because a lot of people want to be buying gold. It's a safe haven commodity, and that's pretty appealing right now, especially with all the uncertainty going on with all these fiat currencies and just all the uncertainty surrounding the market right now. So a lot of people are going to gold, and obviously we could see the reaction here on the chart. So I definitely think it's going to get to 1800. So yeah, we'll be watching that one as well. But that's what I prepared for you guys. So the best prospects, just to recap, AUD, USD, right? We're looking for either a pullback or momentum to push us through support, and then we'll look for break and retest. AJ is a similar scenario. This is kind of the area deciding where price action is going to go. Either looking for a strong bounce, break and retest, same as AU, or we have EU here, so same thing. More so just looking for a retest of broken structure here, and then we'll get in on a lower high and target lower. So those are the top three for this week, today. So Angela, I'm going to pass this off to you.
Yeah, so we're gonna be I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna be dropping all the updates from the analysis in the analysis chat today. So we're gonna start updating the free ones on Wednesday, so you guys can take a look at what we're going over. Again, it's gonna be posted in here in analysis. This is free. This tab. These are the paid ones. These we've been updating like throughout the day. Any setups that we're seeing before we put into the signal room. So I'm gonna drop a summary at the end of the week of the signals and what's going on with that and everything like that. A little more details on that. But let's go into the major pairs that I'm gonna be following. Let's bump up to the daily. Quite a bit has changed over the last day or so. But pretty much on UJ right now, we're coming back to a significant level. We had a little bit of a sell-off. We were monitoring this. Let's go to the weekly. So the weekly time frame, bearish, definitely bearish, but we're coming back down now to a level of support, a daily level of support. So on the daily time frame, we had broken, we had broken structure. We hit our lower high up here, and then again we're starting to range, and we're at a serious point right now. We're at a point of support. Previously this formed like a higher low, so we really need to break below this area before getting lower. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of a trend, like a little bit of a pullback right here. I'm just going to continue to go down time frames though. As you can see, this 200-day moving average sort of lasting or sort of here as like the last point of resistance for this. So let's go down to the 1 hour though. 1 hour time frame. Let's see, what do you think? CAD JPY, bullish engulfing. No take at the moment on CAD JPY. We had a trade out for it, but we closed it in considerable profit. But look at let's look at UJ right now to consider what the deal is. So UJ had been falling off. It never really formed a lower high. So on this 1 hour time frame, it never formed a lower high after falling pretty much like below this level. So if I were to bring on a fib right here, boom, and then pretty much what are some levels that I could see, multiple confirmation. We got resistance, support here, obviously some consolidation here. So this 61.8 area, which also on this higher time frame fib, that is also, I believe, a 61.8 area. So that's going to become, as you can see right here. So that's going to become definitely a key area. As we can see, we're getting some rejection already. I'm not going to just short right away, but just keep in mind we are getting a pullback, but we have yet to make that lower high. So we can pretty much retrace all the way up until this point, all the way up till this 100% level. before really breaking structure all the way down on this 1 hour. So, we are bearish overall. We're very bearish on this pair. So UJ, we're going to look, obviously find some rejection first in this area. But if price does manage to shoot all the way up to these higher levels, we got the 200-day, the 100%, 88.6, up here, then we will just play it up in that area. So we've got two scenarios right now in UJ, waiting to see how this retracement currently plays out. So obviously we're down on the lower time frame, so I'm going to keep that one higher up on this list. Now let's go to USEF. Let's go up to this time frame. Obviously, our analysis has been out of this zone for price to come all the way down to this level, but considering our fibs right now, price isn't exactly going to just shoot from this high to this low. So let's go to the 4-hour and take a look at what's going on in this 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour time frame, this was definitely a key level right here, but we're going to take this off for now. And basically what we're looking at is we got our fib from our high to our low. We hit this 88.6 level. Now we're pulling back. We're pulling back, for potentially another retracement. These are not any significant levels of structure, at least on this 4-hour time frame. So on this 4-hour, we're definitely still bearish at the moment, unless we break above really this level all the way up here. But on the 1-hour, in the 1-hour, we're testing right now. We're testing this level. Boom, we're testing this level right here, which is significant. So we have to see if, how this closes below. If this respects this level, we could potentially, get more of a sell-off right off of here. Let's pump back up to 4-hour. So yeah, this 4-hour time frame, this is like the 61.8 area as well. So I'm really looking to see how this next hour closes on USEF, see if we potentially get like a double top up here or something like that. But if this does manage to close above this 4-hour or this 1-hour structure level, this is key 1-hour structure. This is definitely key structure. But on the 4-hour, like I said, we could retrace all the way back up to really this level up here and find some rejection. So yeah, we'll see how this closes, within the next hour or so. We might be able to get in on, some sort of entry at the top of this 1-hour structure and like protect ourselves with a nice stop loss. So that's USEF, just going to see how it plays out over the next hour. Let's go to UCAD. So UCAD was actually falling off, and much like the rest of these, it's getting this pullback now. So let's take a look at, so USD is getting a little strong right here. Let's drag this across like this. We're finding some support. So let's go up to the daily. So obviously these daily candles were very low volume and showing a lot of indecision, which is now proving as to why, we had this large spike upward. This was also definitely a support level based on how price reacted previously and this wick and everything. So that's why we had that marked. So daily time frame, we've definitely broken below, some serious support. Moving averages are crossed, we're still below the moving averages. So, we're definitely bearish. We got this engulfing on the weekly, which is major, showing more sellers than buyers. And we're all the way at this, like, not all-time high, but it hasn't passed here since like 2009 or so. So let's go back down to these lower time frames. Obviously this is the 4-hour. We had said that this was 4-hour structure. We had broken structure right here. We fibbed from our high to our low. We were bouncing off this 38.2, which is why we took a sell. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tops up here. And then did we manage to get down to negative 27? So we just managed to get down to negative 27. So we did hit a little bit of a projection level down there. We could actually fib, look at the volume of this. This took a long time. It was slowly climbing down there as you saw in the daily. So I'm going to fib now from my new lower high to my new low. And as you can see, like the fib levels that are sort of in play right now, this is just a huge supply zone that I have, that price is sort of coming back into. And then obviously previously, this was a lot of support, resistance here, support here, indecision here. So we could see some rejection off the 618, but again, I just want to reiterate, this is just a retracement. This is just a retracement. We're not breaking, any significant structure on this higher 4-hour time frame. Down to the 1 hour, we can see on the 1 hour time frame, we've definitely broken some levels of structure here. So we're not going to sit on this 1 hour for now. We're going to bump back up to this 4 hour, get an idea of the overall picture of where we're at. 4 hour still bearish unless we break all the way above here. So what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for rejections of the 618, look for rejection out of the 78.6 area, and then I'm going to look to continue this downward more. So I'm up on the 4 hour, so I'm going to keep this one on as red. This is I'm gonna have to wait a few hours or whatever, 4 hours for this to play out, get some candle closure here. Won't watch it too closely on the lower time frame. Then we have GU. So GU actually gave a nice sell position. This was the follow-up from yesterday with GU. Basically yesterday we were monitoring right around this. So let's go up to the daily. This was the daily time frame. This was definitely level of resistance, that we were monitoring. We were like right in this area before obviously yesterday started up with a little bit of a rally. So down to the 4 hour. 4 hour time frame was where we were monitoring it. Obviously, we saw this 4 hour flag broke above our 200-day, and then we were riding that daily resistance that we ended up breaking, retesting, and then got that long position out there. So that was good, but then we hit our monthly resistance. Always those monthly, resistance levels come into play. Definitely major. So let's bump all the way up. Obviously monthly moving averages are crossed, fairly bearish. Go to the weekly. Weekly is still bearish, but weekly we did close a bullish engulfing candle last week. So that's why I was also, pretty bullish on that, just showing more buyers and sellers in the market. Obviously, we had 3 bullish candles in a row. That's a pattern we've talked about multiple times. The 3 white soldiers, but we just call them bullish variation. So as of now, what I'm looking for with GU is we are still bearish. We are still very bearish on GU. Let's fib this downward push right here. Obviously, there's really no price reversal zone level that lines up with this monthly resistance. So there's nothing in regards to the fib that can contribute to building up my idea. But look how this candle's forming. Could this close in 6 hours as a bearish engulfing? And let's hop down to the 1 hour and more make sense. Like what do we now need to see on the 1 hour to really consider this like a true break? We need to see much similar to this. I'm just going to clear this off now. We need to see this level break. This is our previous 1 hour high or low. We had some breaks through the moving averages. Here we were just riding the moving averages. So these were just kind of minor levels of support that were broken or that were being formed. This is definitely a significant level now. Obviously, it was just tested. So what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for a break below this level right here and probably a little bit of a retest. If we do break below, we'll probably hit the 200-day or these levels. These are just some minor levels of support here. We could hit that level, come back for that retest that we love to get, and then we'll definitely look for short opportunities. In regards to being bullish at this point, I would need to see some consolidation, like a double bottom here, break through the moving averages, and then we would again just target this resistance level. This is just a huge resistance level that we'll probably continue to respect. So yeah, we'll see GU, see how it plays out. We're just kind of playing it now within this range, and we'll see if we can break below break below here and see if we can get some more opportunities. So this is the 1 hour. So I'm going to bump this one up. We're going to come up here, UCAD staying the same. So again, we're just doing like always, top down, doing some top down analysis. Let's come over to NU. So NU yesterday, obviously we're looking for break retest. Didn't exactly play out how we'd like to, which is fine. Let's bump up though and see what's going on, because obviously the USD is just getting very strong right now. We had these pushes. Let's take these off. And again, we like to just clear up your charts after you get some ideas on there. So let's bump up to this 4 hour. Up to the daily, up to the weekly. So weekly closed, bullish engulfing. Let's see monthly. Okay, so a lot of exhaustion, obviously, on the monthly from those weekly candles. Let's go down. So 2 bullish engulfings in a row, which is definitely interesting. This daily time frame, I'm really taking note. We definitely broke above this level. Even if it was this closure, if it was these 2 dojis, I wouldn't consider it, but this kind of validates that we did break above that level. We're coming back to this weekly level of support now, which is interesting. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour time frame. We are again, we were bullish on this. We were forming. We broke this level, which was significant, and we made ultimately this higher low down here. This was just like a large flag that was forming on the 4 hour. And we made this low down here, kind of on the retest of this, made some new highs. So now we're back in this range. This is definitely previously some support as well. So what I'm going to be looking for is I'm just going to see how price moves off of this area. If we get some sort of consolidation and then a bullish engulfing. So I'll stick up on this 4 hour. I don't necessarily want to go down to the 30-minute and like really monitor this right now. I just want to stick up on the 4 hour, wait and see how this next 4 hour candle closes. And then we'll see if we can get some sort of like bullish engulfing similar to this or similar to this, like through the moving averages down here. So yeah, NZD USD is not going to be too high on my watch list for today for sure. And then let's cover GU or GJ actually. So let's go daily time frame. I know some people were getting confused on where GU was at. We had mapped out some different situations. Again, GU has been bearish, has been very bearish. We're in a retracement right now. We're below the moving averages, but we're at this weekly level of resistance, which is significant. So that's why, even though we had this bullish engulfing yesterday, I'm waiting. This was what we talked about yesterday in our session. I was waiting for a clear break above this level, retest, entry. Obviously, it failed. This was our other situation. Our other scenario is playing out right now is break below, retest, short. So I'm going to take this idea off the table. We just broke definitely some 4 hour support, some 4 hour structure for sure. So right now I'm going to get down to this 1 hour and I'm looking, more for entry at this point on GJ. Obviously we had some higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then this was a higher low that had formed that was respected multiple times. That was what we just broke below. Now we're getting some rejection like off of this. So pretty much this is exactly what I'm going to look for as I look for an entry on this pair is I'm going to bring my fib onto the chart. Obviously we got the 38.2 right here, but we got the 200-day, which I like to use, if we do get some sort of closure on that, maybe we'll short, but I'm ultimately really just looking to retest this 618. I'm looking to retest this 618 area. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I don't want to get in early right now. I don't want to get in at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'll move this over. I'm going to wait for a pullback, to the 618. A lot of confluence here. Got this resistance, 618, moving averages and everything. And once we get into that area, then I'll look, for short opportunities. It could come back down and then it could shoot back up. So, at the moment, I don't necessarily want to short anything because if I do, my stops have to be, fairly wide. So GJ is definitely on the watch list for now. Let's go up to this 4 hour and take a look. So this 4 hour time frame, obviously this is some 4 hour structure. So if we do get our entry up here, we're going to maintain this around this level. That's why we put these TP levels. This will be an area that we'll maintain around. But as you can see, on this daily time frame, there's definitely a lot of room to fall. Like if we can confirm out of this area and we can break below the support level, there's a lot of room to fall. But we're mindful with GJ. USD obviously looks fairly strong at the moment. So JPY will normally gain strength when this says with the pair. We'll gain strength when USD is weaker. So we'll see. Based on technicals, definitely a short opportunity for GJ, and I'm going to keep that on my list. So can you please explain about current status of CAD with a pair? As in like the fundamental update that we had going on. I don't know what you mean. But Nick, if you want to just run back DXY real quick, can you please? Of the fundamental update. So yeah, basically, let's go back to the fundamental channel. So yesterday, CAD is driven based on the prices of oil, right? So again, going over this, I guess OPEC signaled production cut, which could help the Canadian dollar. We expect Canadian dollar to strengthen at least against the safe haven currencies because exposed to businesses. So oil is obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty around oil. CAD relies quite heavily on oil. If the price of oil changes in either direction, and obviously the risk of coronavirus, if it continues to be uncertain, the CAD dollar will continue to fall. So CAD is just very you have to watch oil like very closely.
Yeah, you have to, exactly. It's very influenced. That's why you'll see that CAD pairs typically move very different, very unique to like compared to other Forex pairs. So at the time of, news for oil, don't trade CAD pairs. It's just, there's more risk that's presented, and, obviously you want to minimize your amount of risk. So just stay away from oil once there's a lot of news surrounding it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And yeah, so again, everybody that's actually in the signals, we're going to put out some trades. I'm about to put out an update, fairly similar to this one, just goes over, the trades that we're taking. The way that we're trying to pursue our signals is we are trying to maintain them with talking about like percentage gains. So I know a lot of people talk about, the pips and, the pips that are called and stuff like that. Well, the pips don't necessarily matter. It comes down to what are you risking per trade, and what is that risk versus the reward for that trade. How much of that account, what percentage gain are you gaining? So over time, you're actually compounding the account, right? So that's the way that we're going to maintain these trades now. As we put out the trades, we're going to tell you use 1% risk. So that means if it does hit 2 to 1, you'll gain 2% on your account. And this is the best way for you signal people not to blow your accounts. This is the best way for you not to blow your accounts. And if you want to over leverage and you are willing to blow your account, then you use 5%, but it still will show you, the right way to think about moving from trade to trade, and why when we take a loss, why it doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm going to put out an update on this, again. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions about the signals or anything like that. I think this is going to, conclude this session for today. Obviously we got the programs that we'll talk more about, but we're gonna go again tomorrow. We're gonna do a live training session tomorrow. We'll send all of the updates, in the analysis chat for you guys, so you guys can benefit obviously from this. And yeah, that's pretty much it from us for today. So best of luck to all of y'all.
Yep. Hey guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll see you guys later. Peace.